Mm, Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, this is lecture 2 on Indian geography. So, in the previous video, I told you about what is Gulf, what is peninsula, and what is island. I also told you that India is the seventh largest country in the world, and also I told you that Russia is a country which is even bigger than the combined 54 countries of African continent. So today we will further continue the discussion. So I'm trying to keep the videos short, so that it becomes easy for you to understand. So let us have a start. So we are studying Indian geography. So as I told you, geography can be classified into physical geography, political geography, and topography. Physical geography means if we study about the mountains, if we study about the plateaus, if we study about the rivers, if we study about the oceans, if we study about the lowest point on earth, that is physical geography. At the same time, political geography means it is made by humans. For example, the capital of Argentina is Buenos Aires, so it is made by humans. Nothing like Buenos Aires exists. So that is political geography. And one more geography is topography. For example, if we study about the climate of Bongaigaon, or if we study about the weather of Tinsukia, so that is a topographical study. Okay, so we discussed all those things in the previous video. So today we will continue the lecture 2 of Indian geography. So as you can see, the climate across India ranges from equatorial in far south to alpine and tundra in the upper regions of Himalayas. Geologically, India lies in Indian plate of the northern part of Indo-Australian plate. So today we are having a discussion on climate. Also, we will have a discussion on coastline boundaries, and also about the Ganga and Brahmaputra river, and also about the some of the political geographical concepts related to Indian geography. So the climate of across India ranges from equatorial in this far south. So what kind of climate is equatorial climate? So any climate which does not have lot of changes in temperature, that is equatorial climate. For example, in summer it is not very hot, and in winter it is not very cold. So those climate can be classified as equatorial climate. Equatorial climate has come from the word equator, and any land mass that is near equator will have the same climate, because the exposure to sun rays is, because the days and nights are equal near equator. So that's why the climate across India ranges from equatorial in the far south to alpine and tundra in the upper regions of Himalayas. So alpine and tundra, what do you mean that? So there is variability in temperature. So in winters the temperature will get very low, and in summers the temperature will get extremely high, and the difference of temperature is high. So the like the climate in like North India is alpine or tundra in upper regions of Himalayas. Also, you know that weather and climate are two different things. Weather means a short climate. For example, the weather of Guwahati today is not very good. So we don't say that the climate of Guwahati is not very good. Climate means a long term phenomena. What kind of climate is mm, uh, present in South India? So South India has equatorial climate. Equatorial means the weather that lasts for a long time. We basically get an idea, that is climate. And when we talk about a short term weather, where a short term climate, for example, will it rain to in the evening, so that is weather. So weather is short term and climate is long term. So when you break climate into 100 parts, then that is one part can be considered as weather. So that is the difference between weather and climate. So geologically, India lies on the Indian plate. Definitely India will lie in the Indian plate. So the earth has been divided into various plates. based on physiographic division, and India lies in the Indian plate, the northern part of Indo-Australian plate. So whenever the earth, like, they broke into Angara land and Gondwana land, so I will tell you later about these things. So a part of India was attached to Australia, so it broke down and continued, and it joined in the Angara land. So the sea that was present between those lands was Tethys Sea. So I hope you understood. If you do not understand, do not worry. I will make further. I'll make more videos for you to understand at a later date. However, I hope you at least got some idea through this slide. Now, coming to the next slide, India's total area is approximately 3.28 million square kilometers. So 3.28 million square kilometers, can you imagine? So always remember this word, it is very very important for your exam. India's area is dash square kilometers. Always remember 3.28 square kilometers, that is 1.27 million square miles. Okay, if you convert it into miles, you know that 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometer. For example, if you go at a distance of 160 miles, 100 miles, then you will cover a distance of 160 kilometer. So that is the difference between miles and square kilometers. So India's area is 3.28 million square kilometers, and in miles, if you see, it is 1.27 million square miles. So remember these 2 points, okay, making it the 7th largest country in the world. As I told you, Russia is the largest country in the world, and Canada is the 2nd largest country in the world, and China is the 3rd largest, and US is the 4th largest, and Brazil is the 5th, and 6th is Australia, and 7th is India, and 8th is Argentina. So that is the sequence. Okay, so next talking about the coastline. What do you mean by coastline? Coastline means any point of land that touches the sea, that is called as the coastline. So India's coastline, including the island, extends to about 7516.6 kilometer. So if you round it off, it will be 7517 kilometers. So if you convert it into miles, as I told you that for miles, 100 miles equal to 160 kilometer, that is 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers. So if you convert it, so if you use your calculator, you count it, it will come out about 4670 miles. So that is about the coastline. Now talking about the boundaries. What do you mean by boundaries? Boundaries generally means what were the boundaries that India touches? What are the countries that India touches? Which countries does India touch? So you know, the easy trick to remember is MBBS Spain. MBBS Spain. So generally India touches 6 countries through land. So M means Myanmar, B means Bhutan, B for Bangladesh, and S for Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka does not have a land boundary, it has a water boundary, so it is not counted. P for Pakistan, A for Afghanistan, I for India, and N for Nepal. So definitely India, you cut the I because India cannot itself border with India, and Afghanistan is bordering India from, if you see, Afghanistan is bordering India from Pakistan occupied Kashmir side. So approximately near about 100 kilometers it borders, but since the world does not consider Pakistan occupied Kashmir as a part of India as of now, so generally Afghanistan also does not share a land border. So if an exam comes, how many countries does India border? So answer would be 7 countries. So Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. So Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. Sorry, Afghanistan is not counted because it is touching the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, that is the area left off line of actual control. So India shares land borders with only 6 countries, and if you Sri Lanka is also not included because Sri Lanka does not have a land border and it only has a water border. So coming to the times of Ramayana, when Lord Hanuman, he threw stones to connect India and Sri Lanka, but as of now some of it is not counted. So only six countries India does share land border. So coming to the next slide, the Ganga is the longest river originating in India. So this line has a huge trap. Ganga is the longest river flowing in India, but there are rivers which are longer than Ganga which flow in India. So I repeat, Ganga is the longest river flowing in India, but there are rivers which are longer than Ganga which flow in India. I mean to say that if you count only Indian borders, okay, remember this line, listen to this line carefully. If you count only the Indian border, so then Ganga becomes the longest river in India. The length of Ganga river is 2525 kilometer, but we have two other rivers, Brahmaputra and Indus. Their length is 2900 kilometers roughly, which is almost 400 kilometers more than river Ganga. So why not they are counted as the longest river in India? So the answer to the question is that if in exam, from exam's perspective, let us see, a question comes, which is the longest river flowing in India, then the answer would be Ganga. But if in exam a question comes, which is the longest river of India, or which is, then answer would be Brahmaputra or Indus river, because they are approximately much longer than Ganga. But the thing is that Brahmaputra originates in Angsi or Chemeyangnung glacier of China occupied Tibet. It continues to turn in Namcha Borua, where it enters Arunachal Pradesh, named as Siang river, then enters India, named as Brahmaputra river, and goes to Bangladesh, named as Jamuna. So that is why the length of Brahmaputra is not larger in India as compared to Ganga, because Brahmaputra is a shorter river in India compared to Ganga if you consider only the Indian boundary. Similarly, Indus river originates in China occupied Tibet, and it goes to India and then goes to Pakistan. So if you consider only the Indian portion, then definitely Indus and Brahmaputra river, they are much shorter than Ganga river. That is why the line Ganga is the longest river originating in India. I hope little bit of your concept is clear. Next, the Ganga Brahmaputra system occupies most of the northern, central and eastern India, while the Deccan Plateau occupies most of the southern India. Kanchenjunga is the Indian state of Sikkim. In the Indian state of Sikkim is the highest point in India at 8,586 kilometers. So this is a very easy and understandable line. So Ganga Brahmaputra system occupies most of the northern India. So North India, Ganga arises from Gangotri glacier. Central and eastern India. In eastern India, Brahmaputra flows. So Ganga, Brahmaputra, they are the main rivers in India. And the area between two rivers, they are generally called as Doab. I hope you know the area, because it is very fertile and it is very good for cultivation. That is why it supports huge population. So that is called the region. Okay, so the Ganga, they mostly occupy northern, central and eastern India, while the Deccan Plateau occupies the southern India. So Indian Peninsula, in the last class as I told you, the Indian Peninsula, they occupy mostly the southern India. Okay, so Deccan Plateau occupies most of the southern India, and Deccan Plateau, like it originated, it is a part of Indo-Australian plate. So once before the tectonic movement took place millions and millions of years ago, India was a part of Indo-Australian plate, and it is one of the oldest plate. And the sea that divided those two plates was Tethys Sea. The northern plate was called Angara land, and the southern plate was called Gondwana land. So those things I would tell you later. So as of now, let's concentrate on the line. Next, they are saying that Kanchenjunga is the Indian state of Sikkim, is the highest point in India at 8,586. So now if I look at this point, So if in exam again a question comes which is the highest peak in India, so always tick mark your answer as Kanchenjunga. But if in exam comes which is the highest point of undivided India, then answer would be K2 or Karakoram, because Karakoram lies again in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Karakoram is also called as K2. So K2 and Karakoram are the largest mountains and the second largest mountains in the world, but since they are not in original part of India, they are in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. That is why Kanchenjunga of Sikkim is considered as the highest point in India at a height of 8,586, and the height of Mount Everest is 8,850 meter. So it is roughly 2 to 300 kilometers shorter than 300 meters shorter than the Mount Everest. That is the it is also called as Sagarmatha in Nepal, or Sagarmatha in Nepal, and Mount Everest is not in India, it is in Nepal. It is neither in Pakistan. So that is like the end of the video. So I hope you today we learned about the Ganga Brahmaputra system and the Deccan Plateau and the Kanchenjunga. Also, when India was created, the line that divides India and Pakistan, that is called Radcliffe line. So, and the Run of Kutch, the area in Gujarat region where it is very dry, that area is called Run of Kutch. So it borders with Pakistan and Bangladesh, where its borders, that is the borders of India, were delineated according to the Radcliffe line, which was created in 1947 during partition of India. Its western border with Pakistan extends up to 3,323, dividing Punjab region and running along the boundaries of Thar Desert and Rann of Kutch. Since the video is getting longer, so we will continue in the next class. Okay, so I will explain you these points. So what is the eastern to westernmost distance, and what is the north to southernmost distance of the of our country, and which is larger, north to south or east to west. So I hope today we got to learn many things. So we learned about the coastline and the boundaries and the plates and the climate. Also we also learned about the difference between weather and climate. Weather means a short term climate, and climate means a long term weather. So climate does not change randomly, but weather changes randomly. It might rain in the morning and it might not rain in the evening. So weather changes from time to time, but climate, it takes a long time to for climate to change. So that was all for today. I hope you got to learn something from this video. Thank you very much.